Hello and welcome to Alchemist Swim. I am Alchemist Jen. It is a pleasure having you. I hope you're having a super day. Today, the whim of the day is going over our dyes from last night. So I showcased some dye pans and some of my dyeing process. So I have the fiber right here. It's all squished and condensed because it's all full of water still, but it's drying. So it's still quite wet, so I'll show you what I have and then probably show you the finished braids at the end, just because you'll see the transformation of the whole thing. So we already saw it super fluffy and big when we got it in, and then we saw it in the pan nice and wet while it was hydrating with the citric acid to get it ready to accept this beautiful dye. And then this is the dye process. So let's see, I started out with the green, the tan, and that was a purple. So this is what that fiber looks like. Yes, it's all squishy and condensed because I squeezed it out. I don't have a dryer yet. Eventually I'll get a dryer and it'll make things a little easier, maybe a little less squished. But those are what the colors look like. Very, very cool, very exciting, gonna be really fun to spin up. The next one I had was this one. This one has that base of that kind of brown color. So you can see some of it showing through in that yellowiness as it was modeled over the fibers, and then I added that I can't remember what the colors are right now. I have them close by, but what's the point of looking things up if we can just talk about them and pretend that we know what we're talking about? So you can see there was that cream, is vanilla cream, right? So vanilla cream has more intensity here. I sprinkled it over the whole pan and let it just kind of sit on top, let it permeate down a little bit, and then I had just those two other colors that I sprinkled on top as well. So through that and through the rinsing, some of the purple, I think that was the iris, didn't attach itself completely to the fiber. So as I was rinsing it, I found that it was going into the other fibers through the rinse. So we can see its impact on the other end of it, because it's pretty cool. It's nice and it's going to be really fun to spin up with that slightly blue hue to it as well. And then the ones that I did next were I had a true black and persimmons, that orange. And then I took purple pop and I sprinkled it all over the top. So with that, you can see it separates. That's what's cool. I like the purple pop a lot because it separates, so you can see the intensity of the purple, and then you can see the pink that comes through, and that's just from that one dye. I didn't add any actual pink to it. It's just that dye spread, and it is on the black as well. So you're gonna see some blues coming through there, and then the final one I have is this whole thing here. Perfect. Actually, this one is the first one, not the other one. I had another one with green. That one is, yeah, I can read my own notes and understand where I'm going. So, so this one, I think actually had the mauve and the green and has a nice gray. Oh, silver, right. Got it. So that one was the correct first one. I'm just totally losing myself. Silver, mauve, and the forest green. Right. So I think that might have been something I did. Anyway, I should look at my notes. Doesn't really matter because it's so pretty anyway. And that's what the fiber looks like right now as I squeezed it out after pulling it from its bath. So when I rinsed it, I used a little Synthropol to help that last connection with the dye, but then also to pull off any excess of it that was just kind of hanging out. So it's a good practice to wash your wool correctly at the end, so that way when you go to the person who uses it goes to use it, hopefully it doesn't get it all over their hands. That sometimes happens. It's embarrassing, but it does happen. Sometimes the dyes don't connect fully to the fibers. So some are known to do that, and some you find out just by using it and figuring that out later, or hearing stories about it. So life is full of adventures. So you never know what's going to happen, and that can be one of them. So these guys, the next stages are just for them to dry, and then when they dry a little bit more, I will start to pull apart the fibers. I don't want to agitate them too much while they're this wet. When it starts to dry more, I find that it'll pull apart a little easier, and it'll become a nice fluffy braid again. They're not, felted or anything. They're just wet, so they're holding on to each other that way. All those little fibers have these little burrs on them that hold onto themselves, and that's the nature of it, which creates that those beautiful yarns that we love because they hold on to each other so well. So that's what's up with the beautiful fibers. I'm excited for them. Behind me I have the bottom part of the floor pillow that I'm going to make. I do have some fabric that I'm going to sew up to start the bottom part of the pillow, and then I will create this as the sort of the outside sham over it to help protect it, and then I could wash it if I need to. Having a cat and being a human, sometimes things get on things, so it's nice to have that ability to take it off rather than just building the pillow and going, oh no, I have to spot clean it. You can clean the cover whenever you need to, which is, I think, important in the design making process. Even though I had lazy moments and I was like, I don't want to do an extra step, and then the other part of me was like, but what if? And so I said to myself, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I have what I need to make both parts of this awesome pillow. I have a big box of compacted furniture foam that I'm going to stuff it with. So I've just been looking for the right project for it. And as I'm sitting on the floor, as I'm filming every day, I figure, what better way to use it is to use it in a creative way. And a comfy way. So that is what's going on. So hopefully I'll start that soon, the sewing part of it. So I'll keep you updated on that progress for sure as I build the inner pillow and the outer pillows. I'm sure my ideas for simplicity now, I might end up putting a button or something in the middle. Who knows? Who knows what I'll do? So we'll find out when I get there. So there's that. I have a dress on that I dyed as well too, ice dyed. Yes, a dress. I don't wear dresses very often, so I'm trying to branch out into that realm again. I used to wear skirts and stuff for work a while ago, and thought I felt like I was all schmancy that way, but I've gone more towards pants in recent years, and so occasionally wearing something of the dressy and skirty variety is kind of intriguing. So I got this dress. I lift up the bottom part of the skirt and you can't see it, but I'm still wearing jeans under it, if that makes sense. It's just my thing. So yeah, so these are my dyes for the day. I'm really excited to see how the fiber stretches out. I'm very pleased with how the colors came out. Look at that intensity. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'm pleased with the variety as well as the energies that they have. They just are fun and vibrant and a little moody here and there, and that creates good fiber and good yarn and good knits or crochets as they come out of that too. So yeah, so that I might keep it nice and short. I don't know how long it's actually been, but that's what I have going on today. I had been working on, I machine knit up that, the tube, and I paused on that. I was going to dye it in, instead of a rectangular pan, which I've done these in like you saw yesterday, I was going to do it in more of like a steamer pan, like a big, stock pot on the stove. So I'm thinking I'm still going to do that, but I wanted to have another one done with it And then I also wanted to have a specific, I can speak, project in mind when I did it, because I kind of feel like I want to work towards patterns with that yarn still. It kind of is one of those things. I'm looking at my crochet work and my patterns that I'm creating, and I'd rather have a project in mind for it before I commit to how I want to dye it, and set myself up for that progression as well. So I like to be methodical, and then if I hit a wall or a moment of pause, I usually take that pause because it's important, just to reflect and redirect as necessary. I kind of listen to myself there. If there's a hesitation, there's probably a good reason for it. If even like in my just, life as it goes, if there's a pause for some reason, there's probably a reason that I need to pause. So I look for the opportunity to learn something, to listen, to get another opinion, or just step away from it for a second and then be able to come back at it with a fresh look. So that's what I'm doing with the knitted tube. Excited to make some more of those. I think I have like 6 total skeins of that yarn. So I'm trying to decide also if I wanted to, depending on what kind of project I want to get into, and what kind of patterns I want to make with that initial bit. I might make up all 6 of the tubes, and then we could have some fun that way and just see how it develops. So that's how my brain works. I start and stop as I as I want to, on my own whim, or at my own whim is that the correct phraseology there. And so often jumping around, but sometimes there's a pass, and sometimes it's just needs a second to percolate a little bit, and maybe I need to do something else in the meantime. So I've done the dyeing for the fiber because of the show that's on Sunday, and I have a bunch of yarn, but it's a fiber show, so I really wanted to have some fiber as well. And again, that's Tina Turner Knits in Fiber Festival in Rochester, New York. So if you're in that neck of the woods, and if you are watching this in the timeline where this makes sense to you, then that's cool. It could be totally after this is even passed, and it could be years from now when you're watching this, and then you'd be like, what is she talking about? Why is she going on about these things? But I'm here and in my now, and so that's what's going on, and that's what's impacting what I'm making. So yay for time travel, and I'm a complete dork. All right, so here is today's awesomeness. I hope you have had a good time listening to me ramble and my thought process behind dyeing, and what my plans are for the tubes that I knit up. The tube, and it's going to become tubes, I should say. And I hope you're having a great day, and we'll see where the whim takes us another day. Thank you. Toodaloo.